this week's What's for Dinner video. My name is Ashley. I'm going to be showing you 3 different meals I made this past week. I don't always follow recipes exactly, but if you're interested, I've linked some similar recipes down below. The first dinner I'm going to be showing you, I made some firecracker meatballs with rice and broccoli. I am just working on the firecracker sauce, which is a weird mixture. It is soy sauce, mayo, sriracha, honey. The sauce was very daunting to try. I was very scared, but it actually does taste good. It is just so weird. So I'm just adding everything to my desired taste. I did end up adding a little bit more sriracha and some honey. So I'm just going to work on the vegetables. I'm going to use some broccoli. I just drizzled a little bit of oil on there. Now I'm just going to use the garlic lover seasoning and some Jamaican jerk seasoning, both from Flavor Gods. I'm just going to give this a nice toss, and then this will go in the oven at about 350 degrees. Next, I'm going to work on the meatballs. I'm just going to use the Kirkland, the Costco brand meatballs. I just love these ones, the Italian style. I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of oil in the pan, and I'm just going to heat these through, putting the lid on it to make sure it gets nice and cooked inside as well. I had my pan set on about medium heat to start, and I think it was just too hot. It kind of started to burn the edges before the insides were getting warmed, so I did just turn it down a little bit. Once these were done, I just served them with some seasoned rice. This is how everything looked when it was done. The sauce did taste very good. The next dinner I'm going to show you, I made some Cajun Mac Cheese with some grilled chicken. I'm going to start off with my chicken. I am using 1.5 chicken breasts because I am making 1 full box of pasta. I'm just going to butterfly the one in half. The other one was pretty small. I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of oil on these, and then I'm going to use some Cajun seasoning to season this all. I'm going to use the Slap Your Mama Cajun seasoning, some garlic powder, paprika, onion powder. I had a little bit of oil heating up in a pan on about medium heat just so it can get a nice brown on the chicken. I'm just going to place all 3 chicken breasts in the pan, cook them until they're nice and brown on the one side, and then I'm going to flip them. After I flip them, I like to put a lid on it just to help seal in all the juices and help it cook all the way through. Next, I am making my garlic asparagus. I'm just going to use some garlic powder and rub them all over the asparagus, and then this will go in the oven as well. So I'm using whatever juices were left over in the pan from the chicken to help make the sauce. I just added a couple tablespoons of butter to the pan, and now I'm adding in my heavy whipping cream. I'm going to bring this up to a nice simmer. So I'm going to start adding in all my seasonings and spices. I am adding in the McCormick Cajun seasoning, the Slap Your Mama Cajun seasoning, some pepper, just a little bit of paprika for color, some onion powder, and some garlic powder. I'm going to give this a nice mix, let this cook down a little bit till it thickens and reduces. I also have my pasta boiling in a pot of water. Next, I'm going to add just in a little bit of cream cheese. Once this is done, I will pour this over the pasta, and then I will add in the rest of my cheese. So I'm just going to add in handfuls of the quesadilla cheese and some jack cheese, give this a nice mix. Then I'm going to add in my grilled chicken. I just cut them up on a cutting board. So I just added the chicken and I'm going to toss this all around, make sure everything is nice and coated. So I just did a little taste test and I'm going to add back in just a little bit more spice, some more Cajun seasoning, and then this will be ready to go. This is how everything looked when it was done. I just made some garlic bread for my fiance and it was such a good dinner. So the last dinner I'm going to be showing you, I made some chicken bacon ranch quesadillas with some Mexican rice. So I am starting out with my Mexican rice because this takes the longest to cook. I just had a little bit of oil heating up in a pan and I just threw in 1 cup of white rice. I'm just going to turn the heat up and toast this around. The seasonings I'm using are garlic salt, cumin, and some onion powder. Next, I'm going to add in half a can of an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. I'm going to cook this up just a little bit and then I will add in my water. I'm going to add in 2 full cups of water and then I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of chicken bouillon powder. I'm going to give this a nice mix and make sure everything is well combined. I'm going to bring this up to a rapid simmer or boil and then I'm going to put a lid on it and turn the heat down. So to get started on my quesadillas, I just have to cook the chicken and the bacon. So I'm going to start out with the bacon. That way I can get this all nice and cooked up and use just a little bit of the residual grease to cook the chicken. I'm just going to cook 4 pieces. I don't want that much bacon in mine, so I just cooked 4 until they're all the way cooked through. Once they were done, I just drained out most of the grease, just left a little bit just to help cook the chicken and give it some nice flavor. I just laid all 3 pieces of chicken in. I'm going to cook them on the one side until they're nice and brown, and then I'm just going to flip them. So I ripped up the bacon pieces and I chopped up the chicken, made the quesadilla, and put just a little bit of ranch on the bottom. This is how I am cooking the big quesadilla for my fiance. Once the cheese was melted and the other side was nice and brown, I just flipped them until it gets nice and brown on this side as well. This is how everything looked when it was done. Just made some guacamole and this was such a hit. Thank you so much for watching this week's What's for Dinner video. Make sure you come back next week for another one.